Oh, look at that.
Hey,
I ain't been in one of these in a long time.
Oh, yeah,
boy.
yeah.
I ain't never worked one, but I ain't never been in one. Welcome to the Herfador Lounge. I'm Ray True Life, and my guest today is creating waves in the world of barbering. He has created curriculum for local schools and an alternative route to success for the next generation of barbers. Please welcome Mr. Eros Shaw. What's going on, man?
Man, it's been a long time.
It has been a long time. It's been a couple months, few months,
Few months, yeah.
few months.
Yeah.
Man, first of all, I want to thank you for doing this and being here. And well, it's your place, but thank you for allowing me to come in here and interview you.
This is our place. You know how the barbershop, but this is our place.
Right.
This is home.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
First of all, so you're a master barber. So that means you've been cutting hair for quite a long time.
You know what? I think I don't even call myself a master barber.
Mm.
You know, I do think about myself as someone that has been in the industry for a long time and has had an opportunity to experience a lot of different levels when it comes to barbering. But I don't consider myself a master barber because in different states that means something different. And so that term, master barber, can be anybody can get a business card and put master barber on there, but it's nothing to hold them. There's not a standard to hold them accountable in this state to use the term master barber.
Okay, so it's not like a I guess nationwide guideline. Or
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. I didn't know that.
But I am an educator.
right. and we definitely gonna get into that.
Right.
So I was gonna ask you, what does it take to be a master barber? But apparently it takes a business card to be a master barber.
I think at the end of the day, I think it's good for people to know and understand, things when they're looking at it, because just because somebody hand you a card with master barber on it doesn't mean that they are technically a master barber. It just means that it's an interchangeable term that we're allowed to use at this particular point. Now, that was at one point a master barber, and it took us a skill set to become a master barber. It took some years to become a master barber. You couldn't just come straight out of school and put on your business card
or off the porch,
right? and put master barber on your business card.
Right. Yeah. So I want to back up a little bit, man. I want to talk a little bit about your history and background. So might be thinking kind of far back. So when was the first time you cut hair?
The first time I cut hair? The first time my mama messed my haircut up. I was like, look, chick, I can do that.
I think every black man has a story of having to cut his own hair.
Yes, man. Mine just went too far. Mine just went way too far. But I will tell you, the first time that lady, we moved here from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
And my mom was a single parent, raising 3 boys. Of course, did not have the money to pay for 3 haircuts.
Yeah.
In Shreveport, she sent us right across the alley.
No.
Some people know what the alley is. Somebody sent us right across it. She sent us right across the alley and right in there to Miss Harris with a little note in our pocket. And when you know that we was going in there to get ivory legs the whole But there was only a couple dollars,
Right.
We moved to Houston, they talking $20, that's $60 for my mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She never heard of that, and so she decided to go and buy a pair of clippers that, that's all they did. Just had a blade on it and went back and forth.
The first Walmart Andes.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, the first one. Decided to, do her thing. And that wasn't her thing.
No, that ain't
That
it.
So, you know, after going, I think I was probably the 6th grade around that time. So, you know, going to school, and you know, that's middle school, bro.
Yeah, you got to be right.
You cannot fall in middle school, like that.
Yeah, you got to be right.
Just so happened that was the era where, for us, our age, you just had to have a straight line.
Yeah,
like everybody was wearing a chili bowl at that particular point. You can have a flat top,
long as that line was straight and crisp.
And bro, I figured out the game. I went and got me a pair of shoestrings, tied some jokers around my head.
Perfect straight line.
Stay on the line, baby. Stay on the line.
All you gotta do is trace that line.
Stay on the line, baby. And all the way around, that joker was straight. I get to the school and all of a sudden the ones that didn't want to look at what Mike Jones say. Back then, they didn't want me. Now I got this line straight. They all over me. But it was a whole bunch of guys and a whole bunch of my friends having the same problem.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. And so I ended up doing my little brothers. They were like, "You got to do us,
right? I mean, you have to.
You got to do us." So you know, I started maintaining them along with myself, and then it just kind of spiraled. You know, and I had friends that were going through the same scenario. One of my best friends now, to this very day, I met him from just that situation.
Oh wow!
And we are still best friends today.
Wow.
Yeah, we were on the phone talking a few minutes ago. Today is his wife's birthday.
Oh wow!
Happy birthday, Corey.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah. So today is Corey's birthday, and so we were talking about it, and what you just made me think about. I was like, he was one of the very first ones that I actually, you know, outside of my brothers, ended up cutting. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah. To have friends that last that long.
Oh yeah, that was middle school.
From something like fixing the line with a shoestring.
Right.
So talk a little bit about what it is about the art of barbering that keeps you intrigued after all of these years.
You know, it's several levels, you know, when we start talking about that, because, you know, when you say the art of barbering that kept me, I think there was different times and different periods in my life that I saw different things that kept me motivated to do what I was doing. Of course, I came in at a very early age. So when I was motivated early in the game, it was because of money. You know, I like, you understand what I'm saying? And it was because of money. You know, I was a young cat in this. I think I bought my first house. I was 24. Yeah, I bought my first house. I was 24. From cutting hair. You know, I think I had I don't know how many Jaguars, but you know, I'm serious. You laughing, but I'm so serious, man. So it was the money when I first started. It was the money, and it was me chasing the money. And it wasn't until like I said, you go through different levels. It wasn't until like I began to start maturing in you know, as myself, as my own. And I started looking at things. I was like, bro, you got a family. Like, cause now, you know, I got a wife, you got kids.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so can't be just chasing the money at this particular point.
Yeah.
You know, then I started getting into ministry. And I remember me thinking about, okay, now this is my gift. Now I got to figure out where does my purpose line up in all of this also.
Right.
So that was a long stretch right there just to try to figure out how to bring that together. But during that time frame, so my motivation at that particular time was the family, making sure that they were good, making sure that I worked hard. You know, not having a father in your life, you kind of you figure stuff out on your own. You know, you begin to figure things out on your own. And I learned how to listen to the men that were sitting in my chair. You know, you know, there's this saying about eating the meat and spitting the bones out. Not everybody that sat in my chair was a father influence to me. But I learned how to listen. Like, and I love old people to this day, man.
Old people got some of the best sayings.
You can learn so much from from old people.
They've been through it.
They've been through it, and if you just listen to what they're saying, like, because they have nothing to gain from you out of telling you what they're telling you.
Right.
And so I learned how to start doing that. I learned how to start listening to those men that were truly pouring into me, which from that particular point, you know, I went into the next level. That next level was, okay, I got to figure this whole purpose and, you know, gift thing out and how I'm going to operate. And so I started thinking about, okay, I can't be 70 years old still standing behind a chair.
Right.
So all of a sudden I'm in the church one day and they start talking about out of you many rivers will flow. And I was like, oh, really? What is
let me flow some rivers.
You just got to know how to tap into it.
Right. I want to flow some rivers.
I want to flow some rivers. So I started thinking. I said, okay, well, I'm in barbering. So how many different ways can I develop streams of income?
Yeah, all from barbering.
All from barbering. And so that developed me. That made me start thinking about how to grow, and it pushed me, man. It pushed me to do a lot of different things that I've had opportunity to do, from, you know, developing products to start traveling with artists and, as we would call, famous people, to being a platform artist. You know, I did that. You know, it's just been so many different things that I look back now and I say, I was selling clippers at one point. Like, yes, I have actually owned a beauty supply store. You didn't know that, did you?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I actually owned a beauty supply store.
Wow.
My school that's on the north side right now, it originally started out as a beauty supply store. And it transitioned from a beauty supply store to a barber school / beauty supply store.
So it's still
to where I eventually just took the whole space and turned it into the school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So no more beauty supply store.
No more beauty supply store. So all you brothers that was breaking in, stealing my hair.
Because if they gonna steal something, they gonna steal some hair.
Oh my man, I'll tell you, boy. So I was in the era when Indie Remy was big.
Indie Remy, that saga, fire from it.
Oh man, that saga, that Indie Remy, I come in there and I'm like, oh God, you still with me again? Man, I even answer your question.
Yeah, man, you answered it. You answered it, and led right into the next one.
Oh, okay.
So out of you, many rivers will flow.
Yeah.
One of those rivers was a curriculum you created.
Yeah.
Which was I did a little homework aimed at providing high school students with the education, knowledge, and tools to become barbers, to give them a trade, as opposed to as not an alternative to college, but you have a trade. And if college ain't for everybody, so
right. So now you messing with me, man. Cause see, there's some things you get to talking to me about, and I get kind of it messes with me, cause I know like what went into that, you know, how it started, because everybody don't know that story. People think like when they see that high school program that's going on right now, that maybe I worked on in a year or two. No, sir. I've been working on that program for over 15 plus years. I won't actually put 20 on it, but 15 plus years is how long I worked on that program.
Wow.
I was turned down by 5 different districts, on top of the district that I actually have it in right now.
Wow.
Turned me down twice.
Wow. You came back.
Yeah. So yes, man. So that curriculum was actually developed over 15 years ago. Myself, I was working with Dr. James Simpson.
Okay.
He used to be over in North Forest. He was, I want to say, assistant principal at North Forest. And Dr. James Simpson and I started working on that program and actually got it approved by TEA. So check this out. All these years, that program was sitting there, approved by TEA.
Wow.
But not being used in any high school.
Wow.
So the hard part, the work was actually already done.
Yeah, it was just
sitting there. I knew it was sitting there and it had already been approved.
Wow.
So the hard work was already done. And so when I remember the very first, we were going to do it there first, and then some things didn't work out, and we're not going to go into that because I know what this is about. So we blessing, our people, and we're gonna keep we're gonna keep rising.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it didn't work out, and so I remember that being a pretty hard blow to me at the time, because I was so passionate about it. I was passionate about it. One, because remember I just told you a few minutes ago that I was trying to figure out this gift and purpose thing,
right,
and how to pull it together. And when I finally had gotten it and thought that I was on the verge of actually, manifesting it, it got snatched from under me.
Wow.
But I didn't even realize it probably was not the right time. Because sometimes we can get something too early.
Oh yeah.
And then we don't appreciate it, and we don't appreciate it. And one of the things I tell myself even today is like, God, don't let my gift put me in a room where my character can't sustain me.
Yeah.
And so that would have been one of them times where my gift would have put me in a room where my character at that particular time was not even ready for that. In all honesty, even though I could talk the language, but at the same time, what came with that and what comes with that, I probably wasn't ready for that at that particular time.
Yeah.
And so I will say every no was an opportunity for me to go back and learn more about what I need to know in order to get the yes. And it was those years of developing what I need to know about these no's that I keep getting so I can get to the yes. And eventually they ran out of no's because I had all the answers. I had all the answers. I'm ready for that one.
Well,
that happened 7 years ago. I'm ready for that one.
They ran out of no's. Let's get it.
And I said, yeah, man. So, but I will say, like, I thank Spring ISD for saying yes. Yeah, I thank them for finally saying yes and giving not me an opportunity, but saying yes to all of these young men and women that's going to take advantage of this program and already taking advantage of this program. Because as we speak, this program is going right now.
Right.
We're in the process of taking this program to other districts.
Wow.
Yeah, because what that did is they looked at concept. They didn't even realize what they were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, they opened that door, and then all of a sudden, now this district is looking at it, and that district is looking at it. And they want us to know, how that program is running and what it's doing to benefit their kids too. Because when all of us have the same objective, that is making sure that we are pouring back into our generation, our younger generation, then it's more effective, from that standpoint. So it doesn't matter what district does it or what school does it, as long as we all come together and with one agenda. That is making sure that we give our younger generation an opportunity.
Yeah, give them a fighting chance.
Yeah, give them a chance.
Give them a fighting chance.
And I'll say, because I remember, man, when I was in behind that chair cutting, one of the things that pushed me so was that I would have these young men that would come into school. I'm in the shop, at the barber shop at the time, and they would sit in a chair, and we would talk, and these be intelligent young men, but the story was always like the same.
Yeah.
I just got home. I got a job. I was doing great on the job. They found out I got a felony. They let me go.
Yeah.
Went back to doing what I was doing. Went back to jail. Because I went back to what I knew and was familiar with.
Right, in order to provide.
Because they didn't have an opportunity.
Right.
And so I remember one day I'm sitting in the house and I was watching television. It was kind of late. And this minister came on. His name was Mike Murdoch. And he says, the problem that infuriates you the most is the problem that God has called you to solve. I was like, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah. And it was like this light went off in me, man. Because I could see that was a problem that I clearly, if I put the effort in it, I could help.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that like God will give you a vision without provision.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so that's what happened. You know, I began to put in that work and think about how can we take this gift of mine and use it for a particular purpose to be able to benefit somebody else. Because that's really what purpose is all about. It ain't about.
It's not about
it
you.
Ain't
Your
about
gift,
you. It's
I say all the time, your
somebody
gifts
else.
are not for you.
Yeah.
It's
what you do for somebody else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I probably didn't even answer your question.
You did. You did. And you're moving right into the
next question.
You're falling right into my trap.
I've done it.
You're falling right into my trap.
Oh, okay.
So where did the name Mystros come from?
Oh my God. Nobody ever asked that question. I'm serious, man.
Well, I want to know. I think it seems like it's a good story because you know Maestro is everybody don't call themselves a maestro.
I know, say it. What you was about to say? A maestro is a what? Say it. You about to fall in my trap.
Nope, I'm not gonna fall in your trap. You gonna say it. You gonna say
All
it.
Right, so let me say this, man. So originally when we came up with the name Mystros, if you really think about it, when you hear Mystros, you think about MEASTROS, which is conductor,
right?
A master of an art.
Yeah.
So the whole concept of being able to say Mystros and me knowing that I'm looking at it as from the standpoint of a master of an art. What kind of art? The art of cutting hair, the art of whatever you want to call it, you're a master of.
Yeah.
Remember, I just told you don't need no master.
Right, right.
So what I did is we took it from the concept of a maestro, a master of music, conducting, and changed the letters up a little bit, and now is Mystros, a master of an art. That's cool. And that was cool when I was out there trying to get money, taking care of the family, and doing all those different things. But then when things shift and I knew that I had to like now rebrand myself and come up with something a little bit more different than what I was used to doing and how I was used to doing things.
Right.
Begin to sit back and let that thing speak to me from a whole different perspective, right? So we originally started off in Mystros, meaning a master of an art, right? Soon as I got into the educational side of it, the educational piece of it, I looked at it one day and I said, you know what? Because of these young men and these individuals that we're going after, and we're going to be making a difference in their life one day, I just need one to say yes. I just need one to say yes. So Mystros, now that acronym, when you read it today, is my yes starts the road of success.
I like that.
Yes, my yes starts the road of success.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you. I looked that up. But that's why I wanted to come. That's why you wanted
the question. You already knew the answer. I'm the only one that don't know the question.
I just knew the acronym, but I ain't know the story. That's an amazing story. It's an amazing story.
Yes.
So the motivation behind creating Mystros Barber Academy is to give these young men and women a fighting chance after you hear their stories.
Right.
You know, it's an amazing thing to take your gift and to give it freely. Not free, but freely.
Well, we do a lot of free stuff.
Well, okay.
And you know, a lot of people don't know this, and I don't know if that's in your note card, but
we'll see what you
got. But we're a nonprofit organization.
That wasn't in my note card.
Yeah, we are a nonprofit organization. So the nonprofit is International Skills, and Mystros Barber Academy is only a subsidiary of International Skills.
Okay.
So we actually operate as a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
So
I was right.
Yeah, you're right. So yes, we do a lot of gifting. You know, in a sense. You know, when I first started here, my first 10 students I stood up right there on the other side in front of the camera and was like, hey, my first 10 students are going to be scholarship on Mystros Barber Academy. Now, the interesting thing about that is that I don't know if people thought I was lying or what, but only 3 people took advantage of it. And I was giving 10 scholarships away.
People, a lot of times people look at stuff and say, see that, the term too good to be true.
Yeah.
People are what's the term, tainted by that.
Right.
If it sounds too good to be true, then it ain't true.
I get with that.
And the thing is, sometimes people just don't do what they should do.
Well, we didn't really make it hard, to receive it. I just have, we have things that I like to find out about an individual before that I enroll them. Number one, if I bring you in here, and we have a curriculum that we teach, can you pass the exam? Now, I'm gonna just tell you, I do a lot of work with TDLR, PSI, who design the exams and stuff like that, and I'm what they call a SEM, subject expert matter, when it comes to the curriculum, meaning that every so often I write the exam. So if you choose to fail this is strictly on you, because there's no way you should be.
Right.
Now, by no means am I giving you the answer, but at the end of the day,
I'm giving you all the tools.
I'm giving you all the tools. Yeah. I'm giving you all the tools to make sure that if you want it, like, that's number one. You got to be able to pass the exam.
Yeah.
Number two, after passing the exam, are you going to be committed enough to come to school? Some people will start something, and we know how life, throw you curveball.
Yeah. But
at the end of the day, let's communicate, because there's no reason for you not to finish the program.
Right. So
licensure, and then completion. And then the last thing, placement. Are you going to be able to maintain an attitude well enough and get these life skills that come along with barbering in here? Because we don't just teach barbering. We bring in people that money advisors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, we don't just, everybody leaves with a DBA.
Wow.
And they understand what a DBA is when they leave here. And they're able to talk to you with business sense when they leave here. So all the barbers that we bring through the program, they have the ability to go through our business course also, which we bring bankers in.
Wow.
And they'll sit and they'll talk to them and they explain to them the ins and the outs when it comes to business.
So much more than just a barber school.
Yeah, so much more. And then, I don't know if you saw it or not, we even have a mental health office that we set up in here now.
Wow.
Because I've noticed, like, that is on the horizon. Yeah. And so, we built a room for them to, hey, you need to flash, go in that room in there and relax, bro. Yeah. Yes.
Wow. That's amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Man. That's amazing stuff. It's so much more than just teaching you how to
just
fade.
picking up a pair.
So much more than just a shoestring line.
Well, you got to remember, man, if I get a guy coming out of incarceration and he's been there over half his life, and all of a sudden I got to show you're the same age I am, but I got to show you how to write a check now.
Yeah. I
got to take you to the bank and show you how to open up a checking account now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what we are. That's what we, that's how we move.
Right. Right. But it's amazing because, like you said, like, he might have been in there so long that this is a whole new world. 10 years is a long time.
It is a long time.
Especially is technology and everything changes, seems like every 5 to 10 years.
Correct.
So 10 years is a very long time, and you've lost everything.
Right.
And to come out and to be given skills that and a DBA and information to where now you can live your life, you have a trade, you can do what you need to do.
Right.
And not have to worry about, well, they found out this, or I can't get a job.
Right.
You are the job.
Right. You on the job.
You know?
And I love when they come out, man, because they come out and they're energetic and they're ready to get it, bro.
Yeah.
They ready to get it. And so that's that re-entry program, that's out there, that's set up for these individuals. Man, it's such a blessing. I'm telling you, like sometimes I feel like God chose me to do this work, but at the same time, I'm thinking like he must really, really believe I'm his favorite because I say it all the time.
he say, well, he doing the work, so I'm gonna go on keep helping.
I'm gonna
keep on helping.
Yeah,
Come on, keep on doing it. Keep on working.
Yeah, but every once in a while, I gotta throw you something to make sure that
Right.
And does he ever throw one? I'm like, man. Boy, okay.
Speaking of him throwing one,
yeah.
What obstacles have you faced in pursuit of starting the academy and building the brand?
I've faced a lot of different obstacles, man. I'm not one that will tell someone that I've never failed.
Mm-hmm.
I've failed several times, multiple times. I've failed.
Yeah.
But again, I've allowed those failures opportunities for me to grow, and for me to learn from those failures.
Yeah.
And get up and do better and do it differently.
Right.
Because it's those failures that has strengthened me and allowed me to endure some of the things now that people go and jump off of bridges for.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, it's those failures that I was able to endure that gives me that strength. Me and my brother was just talking about that the other day. He was like, man, we built different. And I was like, we are. And he was like, man, some of the stuff we've had to go through, other people would have lost it. And I was like, you right. And it was a real moment for the both of us because we were thinking about that. And I was like, he's right. He is always right. Some of the things that we've experienced and we've gone through, especially me when it comes to business, because I thought you was about to ask me, like currently what I'm going through. I was like, I got one for you right now. but anytime through business, man, one thing I've told myself is this. People don't plan to fail. They fail to plan.
Yeah.
And so because I've learned to step back and plan certain things, doesn't mean it's always going to go according to my plan. And I realize that. But the faster that I'm able to realize that and not get ahead of the plan, because the true plan is not my plan.
Right.
So the moment I get ahead of the plan is when I can always see things derailing and me having to go right when I should have went left.
Yeah, you got to be knocked back a little bit.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would think, man, honestly, the most difficult time in business for me might have been, I won't say trying to get this place open because at that point, my maturity level when it comes to my faith was at a different point. It was when my maturity level when it came to faith was not at that point. So I would have to say the first time I taste failure was probably the most difficult time for me.
Wow.
I was one of those young men. My son Jesse, this dude, he is funny because he reminded me so much of myself when I was young because he literally would tell me, he was like, Pops, I'm the greatest. Like I can do anything, I can do anything. And I was like, he's right. He can. He can. I know he can. He can. And I was like that. I didn't say it. I didn't force it. But I had this confidence about me growing up as a young man that I knew whatever I set my hands to do, I could do it. And it wasn't until the first time I taste failure to where I didn't know what to do because I was so used to doing stuff and it just happening to where now, hey, that didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen.
Right.
But as I began to trust the process of what I was going through and realize that, okay, this is not the end, is when that door open back up.
Yeah.
And that would be, I remember, man, I lost at a very young age. I remember the first time I lost like $60,000. On top of that, I was in debt like another $100 and some $1,000. And it was all behind me trying to open up a barbershop inside Greenspoint Mall.
Oh, well, that's the problem. It was in Greenspoint Mall.
Bro, but back then,
They ain't got nothing but a movie theater and a fitness connection in
you
there.
talking about now. But if you go back
back then,
15, 20 years ago, no, sir. You had visible changes in there. So if visible change was in there, it was some action going on there. And that was one of the places that I was working on opening up a shop. And I remember I had gotten some investors behind me and everything, man. And to show good faith, I dump all my money in first,
Yeah.
And right around that time, stock market crashed. And most of my investors, that's where they were pulling their money from.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden now I'm just sitting here with this project
with all your money,
with my money in it, and it's time to go to the next phase, and I don't have no money.
Wow.
Nor do I have any investment.
Wow.
And I saw something that I thought was fin to be completed, go from completion or almost completed to totally failure, like just having to walk away from the entire project.
How did you deal with that?
How did I deal with it? First I dealt with it with a lot of shame. I dealt with a lot of shame because I had already told all my clients. I had already told the guys in the barbershop, like, not in a mean way or anything, but I've always learned to do things in decency and order. No matter, because you don't know when you're going to need somebody else.
Right.
So the gentleman that I was working with at the time, I had already told him, what I was doing. And I had even committed to like telling him, I was like, look, I'm not even going to take any more clients in here. I'm only going to work on the clients that I do have. And so when that all failed, man, I remember going back to him, and he embraced me like a father would,
right?
Because I did it the right way. And so I went right back to work. I went right back to work behind that chair, cutting as if, it was hurting on the inside. It was digging at me on the inside. And I remember I was leaving home one day on my way to work, and I passed a shop that I used to work in as a little boy, because I was bootlegging early. I passed a shop I used to work in as a little boy, and I passed this shop, and I remember seeing them like look like they was moving out of the shop, and I'm thinking like, this shop closing down. So I pull over in the parking lot. Now this is after I just lost all my stuff, right?
Yeah.
Everything that went haywire, and I done failed at this project, Right. And so I pull over in the parking lot, and I asked them, I said, what's going on here? And it's like, yeah, we shutting down, we closing. I said, y'all closing? I said, so who's gonna open it back up? Or anybody, open back up? I said, well, I tell you what, can somebody give me the number to the owner? Guy that owns this strip center. And so they did. They gave me the number, but then she also said, but he already done sold it to somebody else.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay, like that.
Yeah.
I went straight to that shop and called this dude. And I remember I had a business plan because I was doing that thing the right way, when I was over there at Greenspoint.
Yeah, so you still had that business plan.
I had my business plan, and I called a guy and talked to him, and he said, yeah, we do have somebody that's already, interested in it and so forth. I said, well, hey, can I send you my business plan? And he said, yeah, you can send it to me, like that. So I sent it over to him. I sent the business plan over to him, and I went right on back to work, man, like working, and every day just thinking like, man, like, just thinking about that process.
Yeah.
But I remember one day I was in there working, and this was probably I don't know how long, maybe a few weeks or so afterwards. The guy calls me up, and he's like, Mr. Shaw. And I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, this, da, da, da. He's like, well, the guy we were going to work with, that didn't work out. Would you like to pursue the space? I was like, yeah, I want to pursue the space. Man, with what money?
Oh yeah, that part.
That part.
That part.
with what money? I just lost it all over here, like in this deal. But man, let me tell you, like I said, when you allow like them to go before you,
Mm-hmm.
and my them might be different from your them, right? So that's why I'm gonna say it like this.
Yeah.
All right, when you allow them to go before you, all right, they'll make room for you.
Yeah.
And so they had already gone before me. My ancestors had already gone before me. They'd already laid this thing out on how this was gonna play out in my life. Was I going to accept the process on how this was gonna play out? And not only that, we'll give you the plan, what you need to do.
Yeah.
The moment you say yes. That Mystros is bad. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
The moment you say yes. The moment you say yes. So I remember saying yes. And I went back to all of these people, man, that I owe money to, because they was in there doing work and I had to halt them. And everybody, I said, listen, be honest with you. I have no more money. And I can't even pay you what I owe you right now. But I tell you what, if you come over here to this place and you just do a little work for me so I can get in here and start making some money, I promise you I'll pay you your money. I'm going to pay you your money. Just let me get in here and start working.
Mm-hmm.
Call the electricians, call the floor guys, even the guy that sells the furniture. But King, big ups to you, man. He was one of the people that helped me. I'm give love because I can remember this stuff. King remember. And he was stingy though. He only gave me 2 stations, and so I had to come back.
Come back and get more stations later on.
Every time I paid him, when he saw that credit coming in good. He started shooting me more stations. Eventually, I ended up with all the stations I needed in there, to finish to go to work.
Right.
But man, long story short, got in there, man. Were able to get that store open, and it became such a blessing. That was the start of what we know Mystros to be now.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was how it started.
That's an amazing
story. It started from a big failure. Right? Yeah. That's so.
Started from a big kick in the teeth.
Oh my God, bro. And again, like I said, it was the first time I tasted it.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know I didn't know how to go through it at the time.
But it's the fact that you kept going and you kept pushing and you didn't let that. You didn't drive past and say, "Oh, they're moving out." You keep go get back behind that chair.
Right.
You took the next step and you kept going, and you didn't let it, put your dream on the back burner. You kept going. And you kept pushing. Yeah. So, what's been the best part of your journey?
The best part of my journey.
Besides sitting here with me, what's been the best part of your journey?
Man, Ray. How'd you know I was gonna say that?
I could just see it.
Man, the best part of my journey, Ray, tell you the truth, is when I get these anonymous letters and notes in my basket at the school from my students.
Oh yeah.
When they're telling me how something I've said or done or the school has changed their lives.
Yeah.
Like those are the best moments. Those are my whys.
That sounds like an amazing feeling. Your whys. You got to have a why, and those are some great whys.
Those are my whys, man. When those students come back to me and say, "This is what Mystros did for me."
Wow.
And now all of a sudden they're walking around and they're paying it forward to their family and to that next generation.
Yeah.
I mean, we have barbers out there, man, now that are developing their own product. I have barbers that come pick me up and take me on some really nice dinners. I'm like, bro, do you know how much that costs? And they like, no. And my name is not Eros anymore with them. It's all of them is Mr. E. Like they changed my name. And so, no, we got it, Mr. E. I'm like, oh my God. So, but you can see that in them when they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see that drive in them when they're there. So that is those are the moments that just make me feel like, okay, it's all worth it. It's all worth it.
Right.
It's all worth it.
Yeah, man. You got to find your whys,
Yeah.
and having great whys help you to keep doing great work. That's amazing.
And I gotta share this because we even have a young man that came out of incarceration and he owns his own shop right now.
Wow.
Yeah, he owns his own shop right now and employ a lot of my students.
Wow.
Yeah, and employ. I think if I go over there right now, if I had to guess, probably over 50% of his barbers are barbers that have graduated from Mystros.
Wow.
And he graduated from there also.
Wow.
But he was also one of those individuals that I had to go stand before TDLR and fight for because technically he was not supposed to be issued a license because of his background. There's some things that, they can do that will cause them also not to get a license. And so it's a little different now, but at that particular time, we had to go through writing the letters and going before, the board and everything else to assure that we got him through the program. So what he has done to pay it forward for everybody else that's coming behind him, now we got an example we can always look at and say, like, y'all can't say this don't work.
Right. Look.
Look, it works. It works. I had to do that for, I'm going to just say it. I had to do that for the school system.
Yeah.
So remember I told you I had a whole bunch of no's, right? So one of the things we did is we selected a group of young men, gave them all scholarships. I took one from each high school in that district and gave them all scholarships, free rides to school. But they were the ones that they didn't want. It was the ones that they had already pushed aside.
Yeah.
It was the ones that had dropped out. It was the one that was in an alternative school. It was the ones that, that really just wasn't built for their system.
Right.
And when I finished with them, they were making more than their teachers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, if that ain't proof of concept, I don't know what is.
Yeah. When I finished with them, they were making more than their teachers. I was like, y'all gotta listen to me now.
You ain't got no choice. I
don't have a choice. I told you it worked. I told you it worked. Yeah. I did lose one out of that group. But he's on a good. He's making a comeback, and even today I look at him and it's like I can see him doing better, doing better and wanting to do better.
Yeah.
But you still got to pay for what you do.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But,
you gotta.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So what are two of your most important principles? They can be either in life or in business. It was just two of your most important principles.
Operate in good character and integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to operate in good character and integrity.
Yeah, I like
and we know that those are two different things. One being, first of all, it's what people don't see you doing.
Right.
Or people them skeletons that sometimes we have, what people don't see you doing. You got to be able to still operate in good integrity, even when people don't see what you're doing.
Right. Right.
Good character, man. Treat everybody right, man. Treat everybody right.
Yeah.
That one guy that pulls up out there in that Bentley is not gonna get treated no different from that dude that comes in and say, "Bro, I ain't got enough money today to get my hair cut. Can you get me?"
Right.
Yeah, we got you. And I try my best to make sure that we are moving that same way with our staff and understanding that first we are a nonprofit organization, so we help people.
Yeah.
So I like to hear more yeses than nos. Let's figure it out.
Right. Right.
Let's figure it out, because at the end of the day, a lot of us have been in that. We've been in that same situation.
Yeah, we've
just needed one shot. Somebody to believe in me.
Yeah, just need
Yeah.
One yes.
Yeah, one yes.
One yes.
Yeah, this is very well. It's got to go viral.
We keep coming back to that.
Yeah,
that yes. Yeah. That yes is important. Sometimes, like you say, all you need is that one yes.
One yes.
And now you full speed ahead. There's no looking back.
Yeah.
There's no looking back, man. That's great. Speaking of no looking back, what's next for Mystros Barber Academy?
Again, I've had to do a mid-course adjustment in some things. I was talking to my mom a little while ago on my way over here, and I was telling her how sometimes we can, even myself, sometimes we can allow life and situations to get in the way of the work. And I was just telling her, like, we got to get back to doing the work. I say, it's great that we are a school that take financial aid and all these different things, but we got to get back out here and start doing the work. Where is the parole officers at? Find them. Where the parolees at? Find them. Where's work source? Find them.
Yeah.
Get back out here. We got to get back out here and do the work that we were called to do. Because at one point, we didn't have financial aid, and we still had to figure out how to survive. So let's get back out here and make sure we keep doing the work.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that, that if we say that this is what we stand for, then we should be doing the work.
Exactly. You got to keep doing
and I
the
hold
work.
everybody accountable for that, and doing the work.
Yeah, you got. That's one thing you definitely got to do is you got to do the work.
Right.
You got to do the work in whatever it is that you're doing.
Right.
You got to do the work. So let's say there's somebody out there who wants to get into the get into the art of barbering.
The art of barbering.
The art of barbering. And they want to open up their own, let's call it artistry shop for barbering.
Right.
We're creating stuff.
Yeah. I know.
What advice would you give them?
Again, like I said before, planning, preparation, and find a mentor.
Yeah.
Find a mentor. Don't forget, you're not the first person to do this. So there's a lot of people that have done it, that have failed, that'll be willing to share their stories with you, that'll keep you from going down the same road.
Yeah.
Find a mentor and surround yourself with people that's smarter than you. If you're the smartest one in the room, you need to get in a new room. You're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
Bars. Huh?
Bars.
That's one of them hip hop terms?
It's
slang terms? Yep. My
My
kids ain't taught me that one yet.
You just
Bar. I dropped some bars.
Bars.
So we don't drop mics. we don't drop mics no more.
Well, that was a mic drop moment. If you are in a room, you're the smartest person in the room.
Okay.
You need to get in the new room.
Yes, you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time to get in the new room because you're not going to, you can't excel if you're the smartest one in the room.
Right. What you gonna learn from people that you know more than?
Exactly. So I definitely would say that, and then I say that for them, when you are identifying a mentor, you got your ones, your twos, and your threes.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to look at it like this because you got to balance this thing out. So your threes are those individuals that you will put on this earth to pour into. You got to find your why. Those are the individuals you're supposed to be pouring into. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, that one homeboy of yours that just always you always end up having to pay for this for him and give him your pass down shoes or whatever it is. You just can't shake him. He around and you just always doing for. That's your three. Keep doing it. That's where your blessing is. Number twos. These are your like-minded individuals. This is we encouraging each other. Right. We like-minded in a sense. We got some of the same goals, but at the same time, we encouraging each other.
Yeah.
We move together. We balance each other.
Right.
And then your number ones. These are the individuals that will pour into you, but they'll pour into you and not ask for anything in return as they pour into you.
Yeah.
Your number ones. So that's how you eat. That's how you grow. You got to find them. You got to find your three, identify them. Find your two, identify them. And find your ones, identify them.
That's again, bars. Eros, man, I appreciate you. taking some time out of your extremely busy schedule to sit with little old me.
No, bro.
And I'm over here
doing
spinning,
big things. I was
spinning
like,
around.
I was like, I made the race. I made the race show. I made the race show.
Oh man.
I made it.
Oh man.
Bless you, man.
Thank you so
Glad
much.
to
Same
see
to
you,
you,
bro.
man. Same to you.